You know what's great? Playing Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate with a group of hunters. You know what isn't great? Not playing Monster Hunter 4 because you don't have a copy of the game, or a 3DS, or any friends. That's why Pocket Gamer and AppSpy joined forces with Capcom and Nintendo to offer 3 people the chance to win a brand new 3DS XL, complete with a copy of Monster Hunter 4. What's more, the winners were invited to head to the Four Quarters arcade bar in London to get some starting out tips from one of Capcom's Monster Hunter gurus. The only catch? The prize winners must have never owned a Monster Hunter game before. Introducing
Vicky.
Scott. Sam.
Hi! Have any of you guys played Monster Hunter before?
I've never played Monster Hunter.
No, this is my first time.
Not before 2 days ago when I had the demo.
Good enough. Shall we just do this then? It begins. So, while our first-time hunters get to grips with their new consoles, why don't we hear from Capcom Chris? So Chris, Monster Hunter, why should we care?
Okay, so Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, it's a third-person action-adventure game with RPG elements. You go out and you kill massive, immense monsters, you slay them, you carve from them, you take your items, you take it back to your home, you craft yourself some equipment, and then you go out and do it all over again, but with different monsters. You can kill them on your own, you can kill them with your friends, it's fantastic.
With the tutorial completed, it was time for our intrepid trio to join Chris for their very first hunt.
Originally, it didn't have like the online multiplayer element. Originally, it was everyone gets together and you all play it cooperatively. So it's a community-driven game. Like, you really want to find your friends and share your tips and tricks together. What's the best armor? What's your favorite weapon? Everyone has their own unique style. And the fact that everyone has that uniqueness, they can really identify with their character. Because, you know, you've got one person who really likes the bow and arrow, you've got one person who really likes a longsword or a hammer or a greatsword, and you use those weapons kind of in tandem with one another. So one person stays back far away, they're ranging, they're laying traps, ready for the monster to get caught up in them. And then once he's caught in like a shock trap or a pitfall trap, the other players are running in, they're getting in there with the long swords, they're jumping on the back of the monsters, they're riding them, they're killing them. It's fantastic.
Very nice. So, any tips for our first timers?
The most important thing is find a weapon that you're really comfortable with. Don't be afraid to just try them out, get a feel for them, fight some of the really easy monsters. And then once you've got the weapon that you're happy with, start developing that weapon, start finding the materials and stuff to upgrade it and make sure it's really, really powerful. Then of course, once you're engaging with those monsters, find a monster that has an armor set that you like the look of. I mean, it sounds silly, but you can look at the stats and everything, but if it looks cool to you, go for it, try it out. I mean, you might like it. Carve those parts from them, find the best quality items and then build the best armor for you. Depending on what the creature is, so if it's a really fast, maneuverable creature, so like the Great Jaggy or the, you know, these little minions and stuff, I'd recommend like perhaps a faster weapon, maybe something with a wide reach like the longsword. Of course, the new Charge Blade and the Insect Blade are great for that as well because they can carve through enemies really, really quickly. But of course, you lack the defensive status with those weapons. So perhaps if you're a new player and you want to play a bit more defensively, you're not quite used to the whole dodging monsters' attacks, maybe go with something like a lance. Because obviously you can stay nicely behind your shield, you can soak up a lot of damage, and that will like help you observe the monster's moves. If you're using a smaller, faster weapon, you can jab in there, get a good few amount of hits in and roll out again. But if you've got a big weapon, you just want to get in there, you want to, especially like a greatsword, you want to just get that full power and you want to slam it down and you want to take out that monster and hit a lot of damage with your singular hits. As for those that are playing at range, you can just stay back nice and far away, keep popping off shots, whittling him down, perhaps getting in some paralysis, sleep, poison shots, that's always quite nice. Obviously that helps your melee team because if you put the monster to sleep, they can get some free hits in with him. Perhaps use the hammer. Always go for the face when you're using the hammer. You can knock out the monster and then everyone can get in there and do some extra damage while he's writhing around on the floor in pain. That's always good.
A few hours and several hunts later, the group emerged weary but victorious. So guys, how was it for you?
Honestly, I was a little bit worried at first because I'd never played anything like this before, and I know it's a cooperative game, so I was worried about not pulling my weight, you know, and it all worked out really well.
Well, I was a little intimidated going in. Like, I'd never played it, but I'd read about it before. I know it's like a hardcore Japanese game. But yeah, this time, it seemed like there was a tutorial system straight away, and obviously having a Capcom Pro with us was handy.
I found it excellent. I really enjoyed the experience. I've never played in a room full of people before, and it was just absolutely fantastic.
Obviously, I was the best. I did really well. I killed all the monsters on my own. They just hung around, you know, not really helping. There's a good kind of skill progression even in the first session where you feel like you're actually doing and contributing something to the game. It was really good.
And with that, the quest was at an end. Our hunters had taken their first steps into a brave new world. Good luck, hunters! Try not to die all of the time.